All right, today we're basically putting together a playbook. We're going to look at how two totally different but masterful storytellers take these moments from their own lives and turn them into something, well, something unforgettable. One's this deep, profound lesson, and the other is just a hilarious disaster. So let's open up this playbook and see how it's done.
So what does make a personal story unforgettable? It's a great question, right? Is it the emotion, maybe the action, or is it all about the moral at the end? We're going to break down the essential ingredients by looking at two stories that are, honestly, polar opposites, but both are absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got the quiet wisdom of Sudha Murti, looking back on a teacher who completely changed her life. And on the other, you've got the absolute pure pandemonium of Gerald Durrell trying to get his family and their dog through a foreign port. You've got wisdom versus chaos. Let's dig in and see how they're built from the ground up.
All right, first up in our playbook, mood. This is the foundation of any great story. It's that emotional atmosphere the writer creates that just pulls you into their world right from the very first sentence. So check this out. Sudha Murti immediately sets a mood of warmth and, I'd say, reverence. Just look at the words she uses. Simple, gentle words. Great, kind, warm. You can feel the narrator's affection and respect for her teacher, Garema. It's so calm, so reflective, and it totally primes us for a story that's going to have a really deep personal meaning. And then there's this. Gerald Durrell just flips the switch to pure comedy. The mood here is completely frantic and ironic. I mean, Larry complaining about not having gracious majesty while his family is literally wrestling a dog into a cab, it's just perfect. And what's so brilliant is that the bitterness in the quote is actually what makes it so funny. It's that huge gap between what they want and the absurd reality of the situation.
So here's the crucial takeaway, right? It's all about how their word choice creates these two completely opposing worlds. Murti's language is all introspective. It's about what's happening inside her head, her feelings. Durrell's is totally external. It's just a sensory explosion of noise and confusion, all this frantic action and these super vivid colors. One pulls you inward to reflect, and the other just throws you right into the middle of the chaos.
Okay, let's move on to the next tool in our kit and see how this builds. Character. I mean, the people in the story are its engine, right? But you can power that engine in really different ways. You can have one really profound character or a whole cast of crazy ones. Murti's story, for example, revolves entirely around one person, her teacher, Garama. The whole narrative is basically a testament to this one person's massive influence. It's such a powerful technique because it focuses all the emotional weight, all the big ideas, onto a single central figure.
And Murti builds this character with such beautiful subtlety. She isn't just some kind teacher. That little detail, the sadness in her eyes, gives her this deep, almost mysterious inner life. That complexity is what makes her wisdom feel so earned and authentic, It's not just a cliché. It's what makes her unforgettable.
Durrell, on the other hand, gives us a whole ensemble. The story isn't really about any one person, it's about how this ridiculous family functions, or let's be real, dysfunctions, as a unit. All the energy, all the humor, it comes from their clashing personalities just bouncing off each other in this tiny confined space.
And this just illustrates the dynamic perfectly. You've got Larry acting like some deposed king. You've got Leslie with his quiet, simmering anger, Mother who's just trying to survive the madness, and of course the dog who's the catalyst for like half the chaos. Each character is a distinct comedic note, and when you put them all together, you get this perfect symphony of disaster.
All right, every story needs a problem. It's the engine of the plot, right? But that problem, that central conflict, can be a battle that's happening inside someone's mind, or it can be a battle with the world itself.
So just to make sure we're on the same page, internal conflict is all about a character's personal stuff, their doubts, their fears, maybe a moral dilemma. External conflict, on the other hand, is about overcoming a physical obstacle. That could be an enemy, a storm, or, a very, very stubborn dog.
And this is where our two playbooks just completely split off. Murti's conflict is totally internal. It's a personal challenge to take her teacher's wisdom and apply it in a tough moment. Durrell's? It's purely external and physical. How in the world do you get a dog and all your luggage into one tiny cab? It's that simple and that chaotic.
And this right here, this is the resolution to Murti's internal conflict. It's a total aha moment, an epiphany. The problem isn't solved by changing the world around her, but by changing her own perspective. That lesson from Goromama becomes this powerful tool for her own growth. It's a really profound and quiet victory.
Meanwhile, back in Darrell's world, the external conflict doesn't get resolved quietly. Oh no, it escalates into glorious, wonderful mayhem. They solve one problem, getting the dog in the cab, only to create a much bigger one, a citywide dog riot. The goal isn't an epiphany, it's maximum comedic chaos. And honestly, that's often why we love these stories, right? They show us that sometimes the only sane response to life's absurdity is just a laugh.
So, that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important piece of our playbook, purpose. Why is this story even being told? What does the author actually want us to take away from it all?
So here's how it all breaks down. You have Murdy, who uses this reflective mood, a really deep central character, and an internal conflict, all with one clear goal: to pass on some wisdom, a lesson that can actually change a life. Then you have Darrell. He uses a chaotic mood, an ensemble of clowns, and an external conflict for a very different reason, just to make us laugh. To give us a moment of pure, joyful entertainment, because let's be honest, sometimes we just need that.
And that's really the beautiful thing about storytelling, isn't it? Both of these goals are equally valid, equally powerful. Sometimes we read to learn how to live a little better, and other times we read just to escape life for a few minutes and laugh at a ridiculous family wrestling their dog into a car. So, when you think about the events in your own life, the people you've known, the problems you've faced, ask yourself this: what's at the heart of your story? Is it a lesson you learned, or is it a laugh you can share? Because either one, if you tell it right, can become a legend.